this live stream, I'm going to share with you how you can simply, really simply, because I'm all about simplicity, how you can start or scale your email list. So whether you have no email list at all right now, or whether you have a small list or a list that you feel is not really thriving, I'm going to share with you how you can triple your email list in 90 days or less. So as you all know, I've upped my game recently. During this whole pandemic, it just plugged me into my why even more than ever before. So I want to help wellness entrepreneurs thrive during this time and not just simply survive. So wherever you're watching this today, please do share to those that you think it could help. And let's get the message out there. Right, let me just share this with a few of my communities. Do say hi. Let me know how your week's been. Let me know what your relationship currently is with your email list. So I'm going to give you a little bit of context around email lists and email growth and why they're important. Right, let's go. So, what is an email list? I'm going to assume that if you have a business, even if you're just starting out, then you know what an email list is. An email list is a list of emails from either current clients, new clients, of which you send out hopefully regular email shots, maybe once a week, every couple of weeks, signposting people to your content. Now, as many of you know, I have two main businesses. So I run an organic spa, which I've run for 10 years in my local town, brick and mortar business. And we have a thriving email list. Like, it grows all the time. I'm going to share why the sort of realization I had in a minute with this, but it's just always been a given because I started the spa before social media was a big thing, and it was sort of one of our only ways of communicating with existing and new clients. So that's been growing for a really long time. So it's got momentum, it's got legs, it's all good. Now, when I started my online company, my attention was solely on my social media platforms, on building my social media platforms, building the personal branding, Instagram, Facebook, starting a podcast, all of those things. And my email list really wasn't a big thing. I didn't really think about it. It wasn't something that, I paid much attention to at all. Now, when I was really starting to invest in my business and really starting to scale my business, I was looking a lot around marketing. And one of the things that I teach, and one of the things I absolutely know to be true, is that you have to look at what's working. So many of us, we see that new shiny object. We might see like, oh, everyone's doing IGTVs now. I've got to jump on that boat. Or we might think, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. And so we spread ourselves really thin, believing that we've got to be in all these multiple places at once. And we don't actually stop to assess what's really working. So when I was scaling up, when I was thinking I want to double down on the things that are really going to create traction in my business, I started to look at, well, what has worked and what works in the spa. And what I was proven time and time again, two things that work the most effectively, any of you that have brick and mortar businesses, the most effective piece of marketing that we always have at the spa, and that is our email list and our A board. Like, it blows my mind how simple an A board is. Just having a poster outside your shop, how powerful that is for getting people in, getting people interested. But the most important was our email list. It doesn't matter how we promote anything at the spa, but once it goes out on our email list, once it goes out as an email, that's when we get the greatest result. So here I was growing my online company, not paying any attention to my email list whatsoever, no strategy, probably had like 50 people on my list. I was emailing them sporadically. It wasn't really a thing. So I started to think, well, if it's worked so successfully for my brick and mortar business, why am I ignoring it so much when it came to my online business? So I worked with a few mentors, did, as many of you know, launch for my online course. And part of the strategy for that was really to grow my list. So I got to growing my list, and it was fucking hard. It was really hard to grow my list. It was growing so slowly, so slowly. And it felt like for every new person I got on my list, I lost another. So it was this sort of like, it was never really growing. I didn't know if the people that were even on that list were particularly interested. It was like a labor of love, you know. It was like, I really want to make this a thriving list compared to the thousands and thousands and thousands of people I had on my spa list. But nothing was working. Nothing was happening. Now, fast forward to today, and in the last 3 months, I just went into my Kajabi platform to check this. And I have grown my list from about 500 people to over 2,000. And there was no push. There was none of that feeling like, you know, it's just trickling down. Where are the people? It was just happening in the background. Now, where this has really come into its own and why I'm so glad I've done that. One, it's really helped me grow my audiences on all other platforms. So it's really had a knock-on effect to my Instagram growth, my Facebook growth, the podcast download growth. But also, it has, during this pandemic, it has shown me how absolutely vital the relationships are that I have with the people on my email list, and how different that is to the relationship I have with people on social media. So one thing to really consider when you think about your why would you want to bother investing the time and energy in growing an email list? And one of the things I would say to you is because it allows a whole new relationship to start building with a different type of audience. Now, obviously some people cross over. There may well be some people on here who are on my email list, and you think, well, I follow you on Facebook or Instagram and I'm also on your email list, and that's cool. But there are definitely some people that don't follow me on social media that I have a relationship with in my email list. Now, this became so evident because I was having really deep and real conversations with people on my email list once the whole virus thing happened. Because I email my list regularly, I have conversations, deep conversations with them in that email. I share things I don't share anywhere else. And so they were replying to me because we've built a relationship and let me know how they were doing, let me know how I could support them. Now, I truly believe without that valuable link, without that relationship with them that I've built with them on an email list and that we have really harnessed over the months and years, I wouldn't have had the success that I had with my latest online course launch. I just don't think it would have happened because I had such good relationships with those people that I was able to reach out and say, hey, how can I support you during this time? So that's all the sorts of reasons that you might want to consider building this list. We have to understand that when we market to people, when we market to our audience, there's not just one type of person. So you might be, let me know in the comments, you might be someone who hates emails. I hate emails. I'm sorry, but I don't like people communicating with me via email. You're likely going to get the slowest response. In my head, I'm just like, it's this thing. I don't know why. I feel like I have to switch gears and be like, I have to really sit and answer an email. I don't like doing it on my phone. I much prefer having that sort of Facebook Messenger chat or DM chat. But that's not everyone. I'm not everyone. There are many people that prefer to consume some information and some information about you and your business via an email. So when we're thinking about our marketing strategies, it's really important that we don't just create a one-size-fits-all, that we think about those people who perhaps enjoy absorbing their content through an email and actually will sometimes make bigger decisions via email. So they might be more likely to sign up for a program, to enroll in a course, to make an investment with you through an email than they would a social media post. So how do we build a strong email list that's really going to create sustained success in your business, that's going to continually grow without that feel for that hustle and that grind, and that's going to ultimately convert into more sales and into audience growth across all platforms? So the first thing we have to do when we're thinking about building our email lists is to fully understand our clients. I know clients that have come to work with me for mentoring or in my programs, and they have an email list, but not much happens. because that email list is full of people that aren't that aligned with what they offer. So before you even think about how do I grow my list, you need to ask yourself, how well do I know my client? So again, let me know in the comments, if you are honest with yourself, how well do you know your clients? Do you know what sort of content they want to be receiving each week? Do you think you know them well enough that you can ensure that they not only read your emails, but actually look forward to receiving them? They know each day they're going to pop into their inbox and they're excited when they see your name come in. Now, this is important, and it's a preliminary step to even starting to build. There's literally no point. This is where the hustle and the grind came from before. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't understand my clients well enough. And I was just trying to hope to get those email addresses on the list. I was just watching the vanity metric, hoping that eventually it would start to creep up. And it didn't work. So your first step is to really get to know your client on a deep level. What is it they want? Your second and really important step is to know where in the client journey they are. So when you want someone to come onto your list, where are they in your client journey? So is it that you want them to come into your list as someone that doesn't know you very well, as someone that's never been exposed to your work or your world? Is there an education piece that needs to happen around that in order for you to bring them onto your list? Or is your list, do you want to build your list full of people that have already worked with you in some capacity? They know some things about you. Maybe they do already follow you on social media. And a little caveat to this, if you are focusing your attention on building social media platforms right now, so you want to scale your Instagram, you want to scale your Facebook, I'd really encourage you to ask yourself, what happens if something happens to one of those accounts? So let's say you build a 10,000 person following on Instagram. Now, we all know how glitchy that can be. We've all heard those nightmare stories of people losing their accounts overnight for no obvious reason. And then what happens? All that energy, all that time. So the main aim of your social media platforms is to actually get those people from social media and over onto your email list. Because then you can have the opportunity to build long-lasting relationships with those people. You can really tailor that content that they're getting each week so that they're not just seeing those posts and they're just swinging on by. They're actually feeling that each week they're learning something from you. Each week they're actually getting real, valuable content that they can go and action. They can get results with those nuggets of information you're giving them without this constant allure, like, no, you have to purchase something from me, or no, you have to come here, you have to do that. That they're actually getting tangible results each week from the valuable content that you're putting out. So a really powerful thing to consider is, where in that journey do you want your clients to be when you invite them onto your list? And now the third and most actionable is you've got to give to receive. So it's not that you're saying, hey, give me your email address. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. You don't know if you can trust me, but I'm going to take it anyway. This isn't about that. This is about recognizing, well, why should someone trust you? Especially if they're coming into your email list as someone that doesn't know who you are. They have never come across any of your work before. They don't follow you on social media. Why should they give you their email address? It's a really precious thing. I don't know about you, but when I'm in a shop, a lot of shops now say, can I email you your receipt? I'm like, I'm not giving you my email. It feels so precious because we are all used to seeing thousands and thousands of emails bombarding into our inbox that are just junk we never wanted. They don't understand us. They don't know where in the client journey we are. And so we get these emails that feel totally misaligned. They feel spammy. They feel like you're just sort of grabbing me. You just want my attention. So in order to really scale your email list, you have to give in order to receive. So once you understand your client, and this is why I've done these preliminary steps, once you really know who they are, what they want, what would actually be helpful for them to receive every week. So in my world, people come to me to help start and scale their wellness business. So if I can send you something every single week that's going to help you do that, and that's it, I'm not asking for anything in return, then there's an incentive to join my list. So understanding your client and then knowing where they are in that journey means that you can create something to give them in return for their email address. Something that says to them, I get it. Why should you trust me? You don't know who I am. You don't know if my work's any good. If you give me your email address, I will give you something of value that allows you to have that power. You decide if you like it. You decide if you want to go further with this. You decide if you want to stay on my list, and we can start our relationship from there. So there comes your lead magnet, or something that you give your clients in return for their email address. So something that's worked really well for me and how I've been able to create this traction in the last 6 months, my lead magnet that works really well is a quiz. So I figured everyone loves a quiz. And 2 things I teach on, which is starting and scaling your wellness business and energy mastery or self-mastery. And the 2 are very interlinked. I work one with the other. So the quiz was designed to understand your energy alignment better, understand where you are right now with your energy. Because I want people to come into my list that are curious, that are just finding out. That's where they are in their client journey. I want people who are really interested in that, because there's no point being on my list if you're not interested in energy work, if you're not interested in personal development and personal growth, if you're not interested in that sort of self-actualization process, literally no point you being on my list. So I don't even want, I don't want that person. I don't want to be sending them stuff that they can't really consume. So that final thing to really consider is you have to give in order to receive. So your work is to go away and know your client, know where they are in that client journey, and then create something that meets them where they're at, that creates massive value that they can get in exchange for that email address. So that 1, you have an opportunity to say, I get it, let's have this equal energy exchange. But 2, it enables them to get to know you. Through that could be a quiz, it could be a downloadable fact sheet, it could be a mini video series, something that says, this is me, this is a little bit about what I do, but without you there, without you breathing down their neck, without any pressure from them and you. You just say, here, go take this, you go try it out, you see what you think. And then they get to decide. But the beautiful thing is, and if you do this right, then you've started something. You've embarked on a journey with them. You've given them some food for thought, some first steps to what they may need to continue that journey with you. So honestly, it is super, super powerful. Now, in this week's episode, I have broken this whole process down for you. It's step by step. I cover everything, how to create a lead magnet, how to decide what that lead magnet is, how to deliver your that whole process, and ultimately how to get massive traction in your business. So head over to the Wellness Entrepreneur Podcast. It's episode number 48, the latest episode. You will need your pen and paper for this one. It's got everything. Because this really can be the beginning of starting to have a seamless stream of potential new clients coming into your world every single day. Now we have, a good, probably like 20 odd people coming onto our email list every single day. And granted, some people might not be a good fit, but those that are, I'm able to then embark on a really powerful journey with them. And many of them go on to enroll in private mentoring with me or onto my programs and my courses. So it's such a powerful tool for your business. It's just invaluable. So head over to the Wellness Entrepreneur Podcast, episode number 48. And then that's not it. So for me, every piece of content that I put out into the world, I want to hear from you. I want to know how this is for you. Maybe you've already got a bit of a lead magnet. You've already given this some thought, but it feels a bit redundant. Like not much is happening with it. You're not getting much traction. Maybe you just don't know where to start. Go over to the podcast first and then come over, jump into my DMs on Instagram, come and private message me on Facebook and tell me what your ideas are. Because if you can nail this, honestly, you can start to sort of rinse and repeat this formula for different services that you have, different parts of the journey that various clients may be at. And as your business and your brand and your services evolve, so will that journey. So it's super powerful. So understand your client, know where they are in that client journey, and then give to receive. Create something of value that both allows them to get a taste of what you do and gives you an opportunity to start a relationship that, in all honesty, could lead to a lifelong relationship. Like, my clients are with me for years. I'm not interested in just working with someone for a few weeks and that's it. So this can often be that pivotal point where they start working with you, and then it goes on to be something that happens and you're able to support them for a really long time. So let me know how you get on with that, guys. It's been a game changer for me and my business. So I'd love to hear how you get on.